Over the last 3 years, I've sold multiple 7 figures worth of products on Amazon, and I've had the privilege of speaking with sellers that are doing 6 figures a year, even 7 figures a year in revenue. And so in this video, what I want to do is highlight some things that we all mutually agree upon in hopes that you can take that information and become a better Amazon seller in 2025. Now, before I get into some of the things that we all agree upon, there's one thing that we all 100% agree upon is the fact that Amazon is not saturated. So let me just show you a quick statistic here just to show you how many different products there are to sell on Amazon's platform. Because after I show you this, I think you'll completely get that out of your head. So if we look at this item right here, this item is in the beauty category. This item is ranked 76,000 and it sells 100 a month. So these 3 things are important here. Now, BSR stands for bestseller rank. Essentially, all that matters for us is how many times this item is selling a month. Okay, so it's ranked 76,000, right? Remember, we're also in beauty, so it's ranked 76,000 in the beauty category, and this means it sells 100 times a month. So what does this even mean to you and I? Well, this means to you and I that there's 75,999 items in this exact category in only beauty on Amazon that sell more than 100 times a month, or more than at least this item here, which supposedly is selling 100 times a month. That is how much products are to sell, right? You start to get in products that are ranked 50K. These products are probably selling anywhere from 200 to 300 a month, and you start to work your way down to 10K products. These things are selling literally 1K to 2K plus a month. There's just an insane amount of demand on Amazon. And this is literally just in the beauty category. 76,000 items and plus probably up to 85, 90,000 products in just beauty that sell 100 times a month. So that should automatically tell you that there's literally endless products to buy. You're never going to be able to buy any, all of these. And this is just in the beauty category alone. Tie that with grocery. It's very similar to beauty. You also have OTC, you have supplements, you have toys, you have books. The list can go on. General merchandise, health and household. Like there's so many different categories that have different BSRs and rankings. And this is just in the beauty category. So the moment I realized that, I was like, well, this whole saturation thing with OA, wholesale, RA is literally just a bunch of smokescreen people that are coping, that don't want to commit time to growing a business. And Amazon is not saturated. If you are still on the sidelines because you think it's too saturated, there's so many products to buy. It is not saturated. Is Amazon getting trickier to sell on? And is there new methods that you need to implement to, get quick, better results? Of course there is. Amazon is always evolving. There's always new strategies. That's life running a business, right? There's always going to be hiccups and roadblocks in any business you run, and Amazon has its unique ones, but saturated? Absolutely not. Amazon is not saturated. So one thing that I think me and everyone really successful can really agree upon is obviously margins are extremely important to your Amazon business, but I want to quickly touch on ROI too, which stands for return on investment. So when you're buying products, at least for me, the minimum ROI that I ever go for at the time of purchase is a 30%. Now, the main reason obviously is, right, if I can sell at a 30% ROI, I'm probably between a 12 to 15% margin, which is pretty healthy. But at the very least, what I use this as is actually a buffer, because I need to prepare for the worst. Okay, like I can't look at a product and expect to sell it there today, but I can look at a product and expect to sell it within a 10% range, right? So I will sell a product at 20% ROI literally all day long. I'd be more than happy to invest 100K to make 10K, invest 100K to make 20K literally all day long forever. But the only problem is if you're doing that at the time of purchase, you're not giving any buffer there. So that thing can quickly turn south. And to show you a quick example here, this item right here can be bought for $9, $9.99, and it's actually profitable, or at least it was profitable at $18.50. So a lot of people would see this and say, yeah, I'm making 25%, let's buy it. But it's not a big enough buffer, especially considering the offers are going up, to where now this product actually ended up dropping in price as the offers came up. And now we're down to $14 and we're actually losing money. In order to make sure that your worst case scenario is at least breaking even, which again, for us sellers, we want break even to literally be the worst case scenario. If we can at least break even, get our money back and throw it into something better, and we've learned we can track that product and keep it on our database and we can buy it again later, but we never want to be losing money on products. So if you can give yourself a minimum 30%, and as long as you look back at the chart and it's not just spiking like crazy in the offers, that's a pretty big enough buffer to where you shouldn't expect to lose money, right? So this item here, I would have seen 25%. I wouldn't have bought it, especially pairing that with the fact the offers are going up. I mean, this is just a recipe for disaster, and you can see it literally played out to a T, and people now are losing money in this listing. And it sucks, right? That's what separates an experienced seller to someone that's new, that's just trying to sell anything because they don't have any options to choose from. They will settle for this, but I'm telling you, keep that in mind as you're scaling. Really, really focus on your ROI. your margin. It's going to be important to the health of your business. So keep that buffer in mind. 30% bare minimum. And this is literally only if the chart looks like exceptionally well, which is pretty rare. So I typically even shoot for higher ROIs. Now, while I have you here, if you would like my personalized one-to-one help in building out your whole Amazon store, showing you exactly how to find products on demand, but also build systems around it to protect your business long-term. And if you'd like this personalized one-to-one help for this entire year, then there's a link down below to book in a call and I'll run you through what that looks like. Now, one thing to note on capital, this is mutually agreed upon, right? If you have low capital, you want to be targeting slower moving items because slower moving items are going to usually give you higher ROIs, right? Like 80%, 90%, 100% ROIs typically with these items that sell about 50 plus a month. Now, as you kind of work up in capital, you kind of need some faster movers to account for that money you're spending. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting on inventory forever. So you might have to settle for lower ROIs. Now, I still don't mean going under 30%. I'm talking, 30, 40, 45, right around that ballpark with some of these fast moving items is what I'll typically be looking for. But that's the one switch you have to realize. Like you can't, if you have less capital, don't be looking for crazy fast movers. You don't need to because you don't have enough capital to supply that anyway. So you're going to sell through in a couple of days. You might as well put that into some slower movers that will sell through in maybe a week. That payout time is going to remain the same, but you're making way more money. You're compounding that money much quicker because now you're throwing that into your cash machine and you're able to compound it for a greater return. So let's say you want to invest $2K into product, which is going to be right around $4K worth of revenue, which is probably going to make you, if you're, targeting high ROIs, right around $1,000 to about $1,200 worth of profit. But as you work up and as you start to spend more money, right, you might have to actually settle for lower ROIs, and that's fine because you're spending so much money. And I'm talking like, when you're spending $50,000 a month and you're producing about $100,000 worth of sales in the 30-day period, you have to spend this $50K on products that are actually going to sell through within 30 days. So you can compound, as many times as possible a year, which in this situation, you're probably looking at about $15,000 to about $20,000 worth of profit, which is a much less percentage than the original 2K, but overall, you're still making much more profit. That's kind of the trade-off you're going to notice as you scale. So if you have less capital, anything under 5K, just be looking for slower movers. It's going to be easier for you to source and you're going to make more money on it. You're going to compound that quicker, get yourself to 30, 40, 50K worth of capital. And then you can kind of pivot. And by then you've been doing this for so long anyways, you're going to have a database of products. You're going to have fast movers anyways. So you're going to kind of naturally feed into it. And again, this is something that we all pretty much agree upon because that's really what makes the most sense with capital. Now, one thing that successful sellers really understand is that you don't need a crazy amount of tools. Okay, I don't know people doing 100K a month that are like using Napido, using tactical arbitrage, using smart scale, using all these different softwares, right? You don't need to use all software. You need one tool and one tool only, and that is Keepa to obviously analyze your products. Okay, people use just SellerAmp to analyze. No, you have to use Keepa. It gives you way more information. And also even to source products, right? Keepa's Keepa product finder feature is just the most overpowered tool in the world if you know how to use it. You're able to literally look for products that have offers dropping. You can look for products that Amazon's not on, products that are selling minimum $30, products that are this color, that size. Like that is the only tool you need to use. So if you're a brand new seller, you need to just learn how to use Keepa Product Finder. I have videos on how to use it and just play and experiment with it. There's so many different ways you can implement it, but this is the tool I use to source all my inventory. It's what I teach all my students to use to source because I know it's the quickest way to find a lot of items fast, and you can manipulate Keepa searches, right? So there's not just one search we do. There's a handful of searches we do depending on what stage of journey you're at, right? If you're struggling to get products ungated, find brands you're approved for and do brand searches using Keepa. Okay, if you have a lot of sales and you're ungated in a lot of products and you want to find new things to look into, do some form of broad reverse searching with Keepa, or find an item that you sell really well, copy its metrics, throw them into Keepa so you can find items that are very similar to that item, right? There's just infinite ways to use Keepa, and new and experienced sellers, new sellers are always looking for the next fix. Like they're looking for a tool that I don't even know how to spell this, like tools like this, or tactical arbitrage, or leads lists, right? They're looking for solutions that are never going to be solutions to the problem, right? They think that this is the solution, when in reality, this is going to be your solution right here. You just have to learn it and get good with it. And the biggest thing of all here is you just need to learn the market. The easiest way to do this is by reverse sourcing. And honestly, as a brand new seller, maybe just reverse source with SellerAmp. Okay, I have like at least 10 videos on my YouTube that show you exactly how to reverse source like this. Just use SellerAmp, see the products that sell. This is how all new sellers really need to start. But eventually you kind of learn that you don't need all the other things. You just need Keepa. It literally gives you everything you need. Another very important topic is how do we actually start our searches, right? This kind of goes back to actually SellerAmp and reverse sourcing. How do we actually start finding products? A lot of new sellers will resort to going to clearance sections. They'll go to like Walmart.com and start randomly like just sifting through items. Like, what can we find here? They think that this is the solution because Walmart has stuff for cheap. When in reality, what you actually need to do is you need to actually always be starting on Amazon. What I mean by this is you have to go to Amazon, see what other sellers are selling. You have to reverse source off of them. So these products right here, if we look into them and we zoom in, we can see that this Blistex has 39 different sellers on it already selling it. So if these 39 can sell it, there's a much higher chance of us being able to sell it as well. We can also see that the price action looks pretty stable here, which means it's a very stable chart. So there's no reason that this can't be a good product for us to also sell, right? So this might be something I would want to look into and see if I can find it profitably. Same with this product right here, this Just Ingredients vanilla protein powder. We got some seasoning salt. We have some chomps, marshmallows, right? These are all items I've never heard of. Like, I wouldn't know to sell a 2-pack of this salt until I see other people selling it. So if you can start on Amazon, you have a much better starting point. You can find items like that. You build out your store, and then you begin to learn these brands that do perform well. You can take those brands, again, throw them into Keepa Product Finder, find more products. But if you are struggling, like if you're brand new and you've been doing this, you can't find anything, the reason you're probably struggling is because you are going to clearance or you're going to these websites off of these deals and trying to source off of there when you should be doing the flip. You should find items on Amazon. Like, you can even use these 4 items right here and just copy these sellers that are on these listings and go ahead and start finding some products like that and just taking them and searching them on Google and seeing if the numbers make sense with any discounts. And that is really going to be the easiest way for you to start finding products. But even when we use Keepa, we start on Amazon. I'm not going to some random website. We're starting on Amazon. We're filtering some items into a list that are more likely cheaper online, and that is why it's so easy for us to source, right? We're going to items that are very arbitrage warm, not products that are random. If you go to random products, good luck. 99.99% of products you're not going to sell on Amazon. So in order to find more, put yourself in a situation like using Keepa Product Finder, where maybe 20% of the items actually work and 80% don't work. That's going to increase your chances of finding products, and that's how you're going to grow out your store as quick as possible. Experienced sellers understand the importance of sourcing efficiency. What do I mean by this? Okay, every item has patterns. So when I'm sourcing, here's an example, Yankee Candle. If this color right here, is $21.70, and actually it's even cheaper because there's a 50% off right here. If I know that I can get this specific item here after coupons, after cash back, after everything, if I know I can get this item down to $13 and that's my buy cost, then I know that I can also get this one for the same price and this one for the same price because it's literally the exact same product. So what you need to do is figure out what that price is, take that price, realize that what your minimum price needs to be for you to make money on it. And now when you're searching through products, you can just automatically skip over items that are too close to this $13 price point because you know it's not going to be profitable because you've already done the math once. Okay, products have patterns. Typically the patterns are, same sizes. So this example, these are all same sizes. They're all 22-ounce original jars, same colors. So for, typically it's not really colors, but like, for example, like Gatorade powder or something, okay? Like if you have a 12-pack of green, the 12-pack of blue, 12-pack of red, they're all gonna be the same price. They're just different colors. Same thing with flavors, okay? Exact same thing as I just mentioned. This could also be the same thing. Different flavors, different scents, like these are all different scents, but again, they're all priced the exact same. So we use context clues on Amazon, this being one of them, to speed up our sourcing. So while you're sitting there looking at one item for 5 minutes, I can look through 6 items in 5 minutes because I can just automatically skip over all of them and move on to the next product, right? That's what separates me from a brand new seller, and that's why I can find products, 100 products, well, you can find 1 product, is because of that reason alone, because I have efficiently been able to source. And again, I think you would really enjoy the video that I made last week because I go over this literally super in depth and I go over all of that. Another thing that every Amazon seller that makes a lot of money understands is that it's not about us, okay? Just because you like protein powder, and this really is only the case for people that are like brand new, that don't even really know what online arbitrage is really. Like, they're the ones that think that because they like the gym, right? I like the gym, so I want to sell protein, or I want to sell, pre-workout right? But you would quickly realize that these niches aren't really arbitrage friendly, so you can't. You have to sell things that are arbitrage friendly, right? So like, what even is this? This jacquard grill soaked cedar plank, right? I don't know what this is, the grilling accessory, but apparently it does very well on Amazon, right? If you check Seller Number, it sells about 50 a month. So this item would be an example of an arbitrage product, and who cares what it is, right? I sell anything. Like in my store, I literally sell literally any types of products. It could be some beauty. It's a lot of grocery. It can be like golf equipment. It could be attachments. It could be replacement parts. It can be oil. It could be anything. Like what I'm trying to get at here is, again, going back to the way that we source on Amazon. We're just seeing what's already selling and then trying to find it cheaper online. We're not doing the vice versa where I like protein powder, I'm going to try and sell protein powder. That's a sure way to fail on Amazon, and it is not an efficient way to find products whatsoever. And this has to be the most important topic, because people think that with arbitrage, you can compare it to like brand direct or like private label, where like we're optimizing to always be in stock on items, which with those businesses you are. When it comes to online arbitrage, we're actually, we really have control over one thing and one thing only, which is how much we're actually spending on products. What you need to know is if you can control your spend, if that's $10,000, this should account to about 20K. So the quality of the products you buy is going to dictate how much profit you actually make here. But at the end of the day, you're going to do about 20K if you spend 10K. This is what you have control over, which means if you want to make $10,000 in profit, you have to backtrack the whole thing. So you know that if you can spend 30K at about a 30% ROI, right? 30K at 30%, you will probably make right around 10K profit. So you have to put that input and you will get that output pretty much on par, as long as, again, your quality of products is good. That's what you're going to see in your business. And this is what you have control over. Your spend dictates revenue. Your revenue dictates profit. It can be broken down just like this. And we're not fully focused on always being in stock on items. We're focused on spending our money on the highest quality products that are going to sell through within a 30-day period. If you can do that and you can implement that, you will have full control over your business. If you're not fully relying on one niche, one brand, you will have full control of your business. Where people don't have full control is they sell one product or they sell one brand, and then Amazon decides to gate them on it, and then they're out. That is why you see so many people get into Amazon and eventually stop, because they literally can only sell one thing, that they have one loop and it closes and it's done. If you want to control your business, you have to build it sustainably. You have to build a wide nest of products that you can always be buying. And if one dries up, it's not a big deal, because you have 99 other products you can invest your money into. That is the only way to survive in 2025. You either build your own brand, do private label, which is a million times harder, or you just get good at online arbitrage, reselling, flipping products the sustainable way. There's no other way. Now look, these are all cool and all, and these are all things that are mutually agreed upon. This is your no BS guide to Amazon, but this is the most important thing you'll hear. You get what you put in. You have to put in reps to learn this thing. These things start to make sense as you put in time. If you are only going to invest 1 hour a week into this, it is not going to work. So while I make these videos weekly telling you exactly what you need to know, if you don't act on them and you don't actually implement these and truly commit to the process, none of this is ever going to work. And that does not stand for Amazon alone, for anything. But if you have committed to it and you want to make your life much easier, I think you'll really enjoy this video right here. This is how you can go ahead and source 5 times more efficiently.